Welcome to FunBikes TV. My name's James and today we're going to be building up one of the 250 watt monkey bikes. We're going to fit the front handlebars to the bike first. You'll find in the bag that came in the box with the toolkit in, you've got 4 bolts like this and 2 handlebar clamps like this. To start with, remove all the packaging from the handlebars. Place the handlebars in position. Apply a small quantity of stud lock to the end of the threads of the bolts. Place your clamps in position. When you tighten them up, make sure that the handlebars are in line with the forks to give the correct angle for the bars, and the gap at the front and the back of the brackets when tightened is equal. At the moment I'm just adjusting the angle of the bars to make sure that it's correct, and now I'm going to fit the opposite side clamp. Again, applying stud lock to the bolts before fitting the clamp onto the bike. We're now going to make sure that the front wheel is tight on the bike. Okay, we're now going to make sure the front wheel is tight using a 17 and 12 spanner and checking that the front wheel spins freely. We're now ready to check the rest of the nuts and bolts on the vehicle. Make sure your foot peg on each side is tight using 2 10s, either spanners or sockets. Then using a 14 spanner or socket, make sure your stand is tight on the bike. We're now ready to check the rear of the vehicle. We're now going to check the rear brake caliper is tight using a 5 Allen key. Check your cable bolt. Do not adjust these 2 bolts here with the threads on. You'll need a 10 spanner behind the bolt just here to make sure it doesn't turn when you're trying to make sure it's tight. Okay, we're now going to make sure that the seat is tight using a 5 Allen key and a 10 spanner on the nut on the inside. We're now ready to fit the stabilisers to the bike. So we're now going to fit the rear stabilisers to the bike. These came in a box in a plastic bag. Stabilisers themselves actually have adjustable heights on them. They come set in the middle position, but if you wanted to stop the bike rocking at all, you could lower them down by undoing the bolts just here onto the bottom notch, and then as your child gets more used to the bike, start to gradually rise them up, so eventually on the top position the stabiliser will only stop the bike from tipping over as they get more confident. Remove the nut and washers from the bike. Attach the stabiliser, replacing your washers. This, as you can see, can be quite awkward to get on because of the lack of thread with both washers on. So if you remove one of the washers and put the split washer, the one with the groove in it, on first, attach the nut, and then using a 17 spanner or socket, you can tighten it up and squash the spring washer down and then undo it. And then repeat the process on the opposite side. We've now attached our stabilisers. The last thing we need to do on the bike before putting it on charge is make sure the motor mounting bolts are tight. We're now going to make sure the motor bolts are tight using a 5 Allen key. And then while we're here, I'm going to show you the location of the speed switch on the vehicle, because it is adjustable speeds. Tucked up in the plastics just here, you'll see there's a small hole. If you reach inside there, there is a little toggle switch which alters the speed of the vehicle. We've now fully assembled our monkey bike, and we just need to put it on charge for 10 hours before we use it for the first time. The charge point is located on the right hand side of the bike at the bottom. Your charger that came in the box has a small notch out of it. You'll need to line the notch up with the notch in the charge point and put it on charge for 10 hours. It does have an LED system on the charger, which is obviously this charger is not currently plugged in. When you plug the charger in, it will turn to red to show that it's charging. Once it is fully charged, it turns to green. However, for the initial charge, leave it on charge for 10 hours, even if the LED has turned to green on the vehicle.